Have you ever noticed how some older men naturally attract the attention of younger women? Surprisingly, it's rarely about looks or money. It's about knowing how to communicate in a way that truly connects. Imagine asking a few intentional questions and watching as a younger woman becomes genuinely interested, even inspired by your presence. At Beacon of Ancient Insights, we call these trigger questions. They work by subtly shifting the dynamic, sparking curiosity, and inviting her to pursue you, rather than the other way around. Intrigued? Let's dive in. In attraction, the traditional narrative has men chasing women, but this approach often leads to shallow or short-lived connections. To change the game, a woman needs a reason to seek your attention, something deeper than appearances. She needs mystery, value, and a touch of challenge. In this guide from Beacon of Ancient Insights, we'll break down 3 types of questions designed to inspire her interest by setting a standard, offering genuine validation, and projecting a quiet, compelling confidence. Ready to master the art? Let's get started. 1. Setting a standard. A woman needs a reason to be drawn toward you, and often this begins with setting a standard. As an older man, you likely have a strong sense of what you value in a partner, but how often do you effectively communicate those standards? Many men overlook this, allowing women to set the tone of the interaction, which often results in men chasing and women losing interest. Instead of stating your standards directly, you can subtly weave them into your questions. If intellectual curiosity resonates with you, ask her about the last book she enjoyed or a thought-provoking conversation she had recently. Should you value spontaneity and adventure, ask her about the most unexpected place she's visited. This approach goes beyond a checklist. It demonstrates that you know what you desire and are mindful of who you connect with. By doing so, you are signaling that you value intentionality, a trait that can be both intriguing and refreshing to those used to casual or surface-level interactions. When a woman recognizes this sense of intentionality, she becomes more inclined to rise to that standard, intrigued by your confidence and clarity of purpose. Think of it this way. When we engage with someone whose expectations remain ambiguous, we often feel unmoored, even uncertain. Unclear standards create an environment where the connection lacks direction, making it harder to form a genuine bond. Conversely, clear standards provide structure and purpose to an interaction, establishing a natural rhythm where both parties understand and appreciate each other's values. However, by setting a framework for interaction, you invite her into a dialogue of meaningful exchange. For example, if you appreciate conversations that dive below the surface, ask, "What's the most fascinating thing you've discovered recently?" This not only reveals what you value, but also creates a space where she feels encouraged to share insights she finds meaningful. In inviting her to engage on a deeper level, you communicate that you are a person who values substance and depth in relationships, encouraging her to reflect on her own experiences and join you in a richer dialogue. As she responds, she's subtly engaging with your standard, whether she realizes it or not, creating a natural pull toward connection. This dynamic subtly shifts the balance, creating an interplay of curiosity and respect, where she feels motivated to meet those standards. When a woman feels respected for her intellect or sense of adventure, she's more likely to reveal authentic parts of herself, strengthening the bond between you. If she finds herself caught off guard by your question, let the conversation unfold playfully. You might tease with a smile, saying, "Nothing interesting? We need to work on that." In doing so, you keep the interaction light while gently reinforcing your standards. Playful responses like this convey that your standards are firm but flexible, highlighting a balanced approach between seriousness and levity. By keeping the conversation light, you foster a comfortable environment where she feels encouraged to share without pressure, allowing your connection to deepen naturally. 2. Offering validation through substance. While it's essential to show interest, flooding a woman with compliments often backfires, appearing disingenuous or even desperate. Compliments, when excessive or shallow, can feel hollow, suggesting an attempt to win approval rather than genuine admiration. True validation, however, reaches deeper. It is a recognition of character, strength, and individuality. Validation, when offered with sincerity, is about acknowledging qualities she genuinely embodies, qualities she's likely worked to cultivate. When you pay attention to her words and her presence, you gain a sense of what she values most deeply. Validating her on these aspects speaks to her on a profound level, far beyond superficial admiration. Consider a moment when someone recognized something meaningful you'd accomplished. That feeling of being truly seen resonates deeply, doesn't it? It's no different for her. The impact of being acknowledged goes beyond the moment. It lingers, reinforcing the person's sense of self-worth and confidence. To feel seen is to feel valued not just for actions or appearance, but for the person you are at your core. This kind of validation is rare, and when done sincerely, has the power to build trust and emotional connection. Validation reaches beyond appearance, acknowledging the person she's grown to be. When you recognize her efforts, strengths, or passions, you're connecting with her inner world, inviting her to open up further, to feel genuinely appreciated in a way few people take the time to do. For example, instead of saying, "You're amazing," try, "I really admire how you bring so much passion into your work," or "It's clear you care deeply about what you do." These phrases differ from superficial compliments in that they mirror back her character and values, showing that you're attuned to her essence rather than merely her surface. By focusing on her qualities and passions, you reinforce her sense of identity, allowing her to feel valued for who she is, not just how she appears. This form of validation opens a space where she can comfortably express her authentic self, knowing that her depth is appreciated. Such phrases resonate because they validate something intrinsic to her identity, allowing her to feel valued for who she truly is. This creates a foundation of respect and understanding, deepening the emotional connection and setting the stage for meaningful interaction. 3. Exuding authority through intrigue. To truly captivate, you must also create an aura of quiet authority, an unspoken confidence that isn't imposed but rather felt. When a man speaks with purpose, he doesn't need to impress through grand gestures. Instead, he engages with presence. The right question, asked with a calm and thoughtful demeanor, can open doors of curiosity. For instance, asking, "What do you think is the most meaningful lesson you've learned in the past year?" not only sparks introspection, but reveals your interest in growth and self-awareness. Intrigue is sustained when you reveal your own insights sparingly, offering glimpses rather than the whole story. By creating an element of mystery, you foster an environment where she naturally becomes more invested in understanding who you are. This way, the conversation becomes a journey of shared discovery, with both of you leaning into curiosity rather than pursuing fixed expectations. These 3 types of questions aren't just techniques, they are a way of inviting a woman into a richer dialogue, one where she feels valued, seen, and drawn toward a connection rooted in genuine interest. Which of these questions do you feel most connected to? Let us know in the comments. And if you're ready to deepen your understanding of attraction and connection, please like, subscribe, and join us here at Beacon of Ancient Insights for more timeless wisdom. For example, if she shares a project she's passionate about, you might respond with, "That sounds truly impressive. What inspired you to start that?" In doing so, you're not only showing genuine interest, but you're also inviting her to explore what motivates her on a deeper level. Compliments become more meaningful when they transcend the surface, honoring her drive and aspirations rather than merely focusing on appearance. Listening, therefore, is essential. Notice the small details she shares, and when she mentions an achievement or a hobby, ask thoughtful follow-up questions. This goes beyond validation. It cultivates an engaging and enriching conversation for both of you. Authority and mastery, especially in areas that resonate with her interests, can be profoundly magnetic. Display your knowledge through subtle, well-placed questions rather than outright declarations. For instance, I once met an editor in a bar, and instead of telling her everything I knew about publishing, I simply asked her an industry question that subtly conveyed my understanding. This approach establishes authority without arrogance, sparking curiosity and respect. Reflect on the areas where you hold expertise. How can you bring these into conversation with humility and genuine interest? For example, if you're speaking with someone who loves travel, you could say, "I've always believed that local cuisine reveals so much about a culture. What's the most unforgettable meal you've had while traveling? This question implies knowledge of travel and culinary arts, but more importantly, it invites her to share her experiences, fostering an exchange of insights. By displaying authority in this subtle manner, you project confidence and substance, which naturally attracts interest. 4. Questions that create intrigue. Creating intrigue is an art of sparking curiosity without immediately satisfying it. Think of a time when someone captivated you by sharing only a hint of their story, leaving you wanting more. This sense of mystery is profoundly compelling and can keep her engaged and intrigued. Intrigue thrives on subtlety. By not revealing everything at once, you invite her to become part of a shared journey, building anticipation and deepening her interest in who you are. It's about creating a story she wants to unfold piece by piece, rather than giving it away all at once. One way to create intrigue is to ask questions that hint at unique experiences without fully explaining them. You might say, "I once had an adventure in a place few people would ever consider visiting. Have you ever done something others might think is a bit unconventional?" This type of question doesn't just spark curiosity about your story, but also encourages her to open up, inviting her to share her own unique experiences and take part in the mystery. It creates a conversational dynamic where she feels free to express her daring side, making the exchange more exciting and personal. Not only does this imply that you live an interesting life, but it also encourages her to share her own daring side. By hinting at your adventurous spirit, you're signaling that you appreciate people who take risks and have memorable stories, subtly inviting her to reveal her own. This shared openness can create a bond based on mutual intrigue and curiosity, helping her feel that you're genuinely interested in what makes her unique. If she asks for more details, maintain the intrigue by giving just enough information to pique her curiosity, leaving her intrigued and wanting to know more. This approach keeps the conversation alive, building suspense and fostering a sense of closeness. Rather than satisfying her curiosity immediately, you allow it to develop over time, making each new detail feel like a reward. This artful withholding fosters a more meaningful connection as she becomes invested in learning more, which enhances both attraction and emotional depth. Implementation and practice. Consider these principles next time you engage in conversation. For older men in particular, especially those navigating significant age differences, these techniques can foster genuine interest and connection. Approach these exchanges as an invitation for her to explore herself through you, cultivating a shared journey rather than a pursuit. And before you go, check out the playlist on your screen. These videos are filled with transformative wisdom to elevate your approach to relationships. If you found value here, hit the like button, subscribe, and share your thoughts with us in the comments. Until next time, keep cultivating the art of connection with Beacon of Ancient Insights.